Hi, my name is Juliet. I'm currently studying on the MA Creative Practice course, and I am trying to get to grips with the software Revit to such a degree that I will be able to use this in a professional capacity and be able to build accurately and confidently. So the last post I put up was of tutorials that I'd followed that I'd done following the Balkan Architect. I did a few of these to try and learn the basic tools of Revit and understand how it works. And when trying to gain employment using Revit, I'd set myself a challenge with the following a discussion with the employer, who actually has employed me since. I said basically, give me a week and let me see if I can do some builds for you and send them across. So once I'd followed some tutorials, I felt it would be a really good challenge to try and build something without a tutorial. So take the information that I could find on an existing property and try and recreate it. So this property is my partner's property. It's a 3-bedroom detached house, and I had the estate agent's information. So I've got obviously the front and the back view of the house and some floor plans. So that's what I've worked from. When I did the build, I had very little knowledge about things like how to work out measurements, etc., etc. I know an awful lot more now and intend to recreate this building accurately. So I wanted to show you this today to show you where I'd gone wrong, which is in quite a lot of areas, to be honest. So this is the building. You can see the floor plans here. So we've got the ground floor here. You can see where everything is, where everything's situated, and we've also got some measurements on most of the rooms. So a little bit of the build was done with guesswork and sort of working off what we've already got. But most of it was done off the accurate measurements. I didn't measure anything because I'm not a surveyor, but I took the measurements from the floor plans. So this is the first floor. You can see they've got 3 bedrooms and bathroom and a landing. So once I had these, I was able to scale this up so it was correct size, which I'll do a tutorial, or not a tutorial, I'll do a blog on that at a later date, showing how I managed to, for example, get the distance from here to here an accurate 6 meters on Revit, so that everything was built to scale. I'm going to the Revit file. So here's a quick walkthrough of the build. As you can see on the 3D model, everything looks quite nice, to be fair. Got all the windows in, they look like the photograph. Fences just to show the boundary to next door. And we've got some grass, some trees, downpipes, door. If I spin that around a little bit, it's a bit steady, I'm afraid. And we've got the garage where it should be. We've got a random door over there. So bear with the software, it's a bit steady, it's a big file now. And we've got the conservatory on there as well. So if I go to the sheets, these are what I sent to the employer. So I've got everything laid out just in an Autodesk template. So everything looks okay, but immediately looking back on this project, because I've not opened it up since I first did it, I can see that the roof height here is 7,000 millimeters. Now that is far too high, which I now understand why I was having problems putting all the kitchen furniture in. I've obviously scaled this up incorrectly. So as a build itself, it looks alright, but technically it's completely wrong. I'm sorry, I don't want to go to the file, go there. So we've got the floor plans. which again look okay. This is where the conservatory is, this conservatory roof, garage, so it looks quite tidy. It's got all the information on there. The grid lines don't need to be on there. That sort of muddles it. The plan itself looks okay. I've got a key here to show what room is what, but the grid lines don't necessarily need to be on there. I mean, it's quite easy to remove those, but so we've got the elevations. We've got the front elevation, which, as I say at a glance, apart from the kitchen furniture that's snuck on, which for some random reason is outside, but it looks a realistic build until you look at the measurements. So the first floor is at 3,600 millimeters. That's certainly over a meter too high. So south elevation, obviously it's the same. It's far too high, and actually on looking at it now with fresh eyes, it just doesn't look right. Anyway, you can tell it's wrong. So like where the garage door is, the roof wouldn't be that high from the door. The garage door would be sort of up to the garage roof eaves. And this conservatory on the back, which is just in brick at the moment, the roof here is actually a lot closer to this top bedroom window, which then the top of the bedroom window should sit nicely under the gutter at the eaves height, pretty much, slightly lower, but around there. So it's just all wrong. West elevation, same, everything's too high. And yeah, that's it for the elevations. So what I need to do really is, well, basically start again, because when I've gone in and scaled the floor plans, I thought I'd done it correctly, but they're just, what I'd done is I'd put the floor plans down first, and then I've traced over them with the walls to get the shape of the building, the shape of the rooms. In hindsight, and knowing a little bit more now, I will take the room measurements and build directly just to the measurements. So I wouldn't put the floor plan down as an underlay. I'd work it all out, which you'll be able to see when I rebuild this property. We have got ceiling plans in there so that we've got some lights going on the first floor and the ground floor. That's because I felt if I wanted to do a nighttime render, I could have some artificial light going on. So I'll show you the floor plans as they are. First floor, ground floor, roof plan. So this is obviously the house roof, and then we've got a site plan. On the site plan, you can see that I've managed to put all the trees in, because there's quite a lot of trees at this property. You see on the realistic, we've got the grass. This is the driveway. So that's not too bad. It's a good starting point, but it's very much a horrific mess, unfortunately. What I did gain from this was learning how to put a build together. So just sort of the technical sides. I learned how to position windows. I learned a little bit about putting roofs on and gutters and fascia boards, downpipes, etc. But I really want to go into this and rebuild it properly. So for example, this window is back to front, because you reveal here, this window edge would come right out to the wall, and the reveal would be on the inside. Same with the doors over here, of course. It's the exact same problem. So they're all back to front. The fascia board isn't positioned correctly. As you can see, it's falling off the roof. So what I should have done here is clicked onto the upper edge of the roof rather than the lower edge. So I've got them all situated just too low. So that's completely wrong. What else can I immediately see? I think there's a lot wrong with it. The topography surface again is not been done correctly. It should have been done as a split surface rather than a build. So inside, I've got a couple of inside. This is not too bad, but because it's been scaled incorrectly, the furniture looks lost, it looks too small, you can see it's all out of proportion. The perspective on the image doesn't help, but and the ceiling looks too low here. So these windows, as you can see, the windows come up further than the ceiling height, so that's obviously in the wrong position. I suspect the ceiling height inside might be correct, and the rest of the build is just scaled up too highly. So that's that. Kitchen again, it's not the greatest viewpoint. I had a lot of problems putting the cabinets in, so I wanted to challenge myself by making the cabinets look as the cabinets are. I couldn't find a Revit family for them, so I went down the road of altering Revit families to try and understand a little bit about how they're built. So these are too short, these units here. But I was having a lot of problems. I've been right around the kitchen and I've measured all of the units so that I could do a precise build. And then obviously when it came in, I don't know if you can see it on the ground floor plan, when it came together, so here's the kitchen area. So these cabinets are all correct size. Now, in reality, these cabinets fill the width and the length of the kitchen. So the kitchen really, if I just put a detail line in here to show you, if I can. Where's my detail line? So the kitchen, in theory, should probably be somewhere around this sort of size. So it should be in this square. So as you can see, the scaling is actually way out. It's not just a little bit out. So it wouldn't pass the test, I'm afraid. It's way out. Because this is the area that the kitchen should be. So the whole house should be a lot narrower in both directions. So I could not understand why everything did not fit. So what I did at that point is I left it alone. As you can see, I put the furniture outside in the garden for some strange reason. So I left that alone, and it's not until I've gone back to it recently that I've realised what a hash I made of it, really. Again, here's the kitchen. So this would be on this back edge of this tall unit. This is where the built-in fridge freezer is. This would actually be the wall to the hallway. Whereas as it is, you can see here, there's an awful lot of space behind that before you even get there. So we've got this great cavern of space when this wall here should back up to this cabinet. So yeah, that's completely wrong. Lights are terrible as well. I think that's about it, really. I just wanted to show that there's an awful lot of work in this that's wrong. If you put this into realistic, it's the same as the kitchen, the bathroom. Again, there shouldn't be all this space between components. So I've used a standard toilet. It's not the toilet that's in the bathroom, but it's a standard size. So as you can see into the bathroom, in reality, there's not all this space, and I'm really not sure. Yeah, the stairs are going through the bathroom. There's so many things wrong with this build. It wouldn't stand up for one, and it's certainly it's not a piece I'm massively proud of. So this was my first build alone. It showed. So that's just a quick walkthrough. So what I intend to do next is work from the floor plans. I'll screen record and talk through what I'm doing and how I'm doing it now that I've learned a lot more. Still, I'm working from the floor plans and the photographs, so my measurements are quite loose, but I've gained a lot more information from the company that I've just started working for, and through construction books and just general tutorials. So that's me for today. onwards and upwards, and the next blog post will be the rebuild of this building.